This is Austin the Slugger James, and you're listening to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows that I'm not a T-ball player. I'm hitting dingers today, baby. Let's go.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And like the intro said, especially when you're not a T-ball player. This is Wrestling Cheers, when we talk about things going on in Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is a preview of this Friday's show from AIW, Bow Down. I'm your host, Justin Summers, and Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by Midwest Territory. Please rate, review, and subscribe your ever listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. Like I said, this is a preview of AIW's Bow Down. I've already introduced myself, and yeah, you heard him in the intro. We got Austin James. He's going to be here to defend himself after all the slander and attacks that have been made on him on this show, so this is his time to clear the air.
What is going on, everybody? It is Austin the Slugger James, and yes, like you've heard it in the preview, I am not a T-ball player, but that is okay. I understand the confusion, but that will change tonight.
So just clear the air. You are not a T-ball player.
I am not.
Were you a T-ball player?
I was. Not anymore. Graduated.
I'm kind of sad that I didn't play baseball until I was in 5th grade. And I totally missed out on coach pitch and T-ball.
That was the best time because you could absolutely suck and still play every game.
Yeah, I wish I would have had that opportunity because in 5th grade I really sucked. the only times I ever got on base, I was walked.
I was hit by pitches a lot growing up. It's okay. Got on base. That's all that matters.
Taking those bumps early.
It was fate. Led me in the right direction, I guess.
But yeah, we got Austin James on here, and we got to talk about AIW's Bow Down this Friday from AIW back at the Masonic Temple. And we got a big guest for this one.
Oh, so excited for this one.
None other than Devon Dudley. It's one of the things I love about AIW when we get that first poster, that first flyer, and it's the guest. Sometimes it's I don't care as much, but some just blow your mind. I won't be doing this meet and greet, but nonetheless, it's man, that's still cool.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we don't even know who's coming. And when this dropped, I heard it rumors, but I didn't know when. And this dropped, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, this is going to be a great night. And it's just the flyer.
Yeah, it was just the first flyer. We still had no everything else to go. The thing that I do love is the next announcement, which was a little while later. And we'll get into his match, but the return of Mance Warner to AIW, who hasn't been around since the first shows of 2021.
Yeah, back in draft weekend in Cleveland, man. He's coming back. I'm very excited to see him again in an AIW ring.
He's somebody that, what we saw with AIW of people who they're on the come up and they're not necessarily getting booked everywhere. And then they get to a point they're getting booked everywhere and you're not going to see them as much. And then Mance is one of those. When he finally debuted here, it was crazy. Actually, he debuted as a lumberjack in, I think it was Britt Baker versus Swoggle, if I'm correct.
Wow.
Because there was a bunch of lumberjacks, I think, for that. I think that was the match. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, he was there. And then I think he did Rager afterwards, where he was a judge. if I'm correct. But yeah, like
What a debut for him, huh? A lumberjack. All right.
and it was at Absolution too. So like Absolution, I mean, well, that's next month. But like when it's always a fun time. So when you have like a debut like that, and I think if I'm correct, which if I'm wrong, I'm just a dumbass like mixing up matches, but I think that's the same match that Adam Cole came out in a Laredo Kid mask.
Just had a little bit of everything in there.
Oh, that was
It's
so much
Absolution, though.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to expect.
But we got Bow Down. Let's get into this card. Let's get into the pre-show match. And I think you got something here. So let's get into it. Bow Down. Yes, there will be no regular AIW soundbite. It's going to be none other than Bow Down. Because, I mean, yeah, it fits. But Austin James, that'd be you, versus Sam Holloway, our guest from last week.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, very. No, I'm very excited for this one. Sam and I graduated together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've worked our butts off to get to this point, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, I know him pretty well. He knows me pretty well. So who knows, man? This might be one to watch. You guys might want to make sure you get there early. Get in line to meet Devon real early so you can come up and watch us, because it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm able to get there at a decent time. I know with the X-Pac show, because I was doing that meet and greet, I totally missed the pre-show. So with me not doing the meet and greet this time, I think I should be in my seat ready to go. But,
sweet. Yeah, I mean, Friday show is a little rough sometimes, but we're back in Cleveland. It's going to be a great atmosphere. So definitely try to get there early.
Do you think you can take down the big man?
Oh, man. I'll be hitting dingers on Friday. I'm excited. It's going to be tough. Probably one of my toughest opponents so far, but I'm ready. Haven't had a singles match with him yet. So I think him and Shaw are the only two I haven't had a singles match with. So I'm really excited for it.
We've seen Sam on kind of a, I would say kind of role. Yeah, he did lose to Cardona, but still, like, for him to have that match is huge. And
yeah, I mean, he was on my team in Cybernetico,
mm-hmm.
and dominated there. Ended up beating Shaw, which was fantastic. That was such a fun match to be in. And then goes and has that killer match at Gauntlet. And if I'm saying anything, this match should be for a title shot, because he should have won. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Cardona had some people in his back pocket, but whatever.
Also, we can't forget that the show before Cybernetico, we saw Sam beat Kaplan.
Oh, yeah. What a match that was. I mean, Andy got the win. That was, almost forgot about that. That was crazy.
Like, there's not a lot of people that can beat Kaplan. And to have that done on that day, and then obviously we go into Cybernetico, Sam wins there, and then has the match against Cardona, which, yep, odds were not in his favor because he had backup, including the ref, supposedly, or potentially. I don't want to say supposedly, potentially. But here he is. Since I did not go to last week's show, I can't remember if he won or lost.
I think Kaplan got the W on that one.
Okay.
But another hard fought match. I mean, a 4-way, that was a good match.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got a tall order. No pun intended.
It's gonna be a hard one. You get what I mean?
So obviously you're picking yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
So who am I picking? Do I pick you because you're here? Do I pick Sam because he was here last week?
Ooh. You can pick. I'll just mute, and then you can pick.
You know what? It's a pre-show. Anything could happen. I'm gonna pick you.
Oh, my guy. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, that would be a huge win for you, and really elevate you. Get some more competition.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked for this one, and like you said, I'm ready to see what comes after it. I mean, Sam, phenomenal athlete, but I'm gonna take him to his limit. I got some ideas. I'm excited.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Brian Carson versus Shaw Mason. Got a
interesting matchup here.
Very, I mean, Brian Carson, has his claim of, being excellent. And you got Shaw, who was born for this. Or was it made for this?
I think it's made for this.
Made for this,
okay. Either way, it's going to be fun. But it's definitely made for this because he definitely tried to sell me a t-shirt. It's okay.
I thought it was funny. Like, I think it was his second shirt. I know, like, he hit up, like, both my personal account and Wrestling Cheers account trying to sell it.
That does not surprise me one bit.
It's kind of like, man, I'm the same person.
Oh, I love it. I love Shaw. He's funny.
Have you had any in-ring experience with Brian Carson?
Yes. Unfortunately, he beat me out at Wadsworth last summer.
Okay.
It was fun though. I mean, I almost had him, but knockoff Cutter got me.
I'm pretty sure though you lasted longer in the Cybernetico than he did though.
Definitely.
Pretty short.
Definitely. Shouldn't have took his back off the Slugger. Rolled out. Here comes Wes. See ya.
And then obviously trained with Shaw. Has there been a one-on-one match between you two?
No. Shaw and I have not fought singles. We've had a couple matches together.
Yeah.
But not one-on-one.
Then no Cybernetico, and then there was the
fresh meat match. We were in the 6-man tag.
Yeah.
I think those are the only 2 matches we've been involved in. In Gauntlet, but
yeah. And also, it wasn't fresh meat; it was day 2 of J-Lit. But
night 2.
Same thing,
right?
Same kind of thing.
It all kind of flew. Went together. It was all wild night.
I will say that might be my favorite student show. I know some weren't a show; they were a match. But like literally, like every single pairing made sense, and all your families interacting with your opponents was all great.
It was, the atmosphere there was so loud and so thrilled. Like, it was so much fun.
So yeah, I very much like Shaw. Like, Carson's been around. I will give him that. But Carson isn't going on the same level that he used to. Like when he was right around that same time that, Shaw is in his career.
Yeah, but you got to remember he has PB in his corner.
He does.
Who knows how that's going to play out?
I think
who knows?
I think I said it last week. Maybe it'll happen this week. Maybe Shaw will finally get Miss Frizzle in his corner. She jumps the barricade. Tax PB. Please do not do that. Unless you're allowed. Please do not do that.
I like the segue. There you go.
We don't need for that stuff to actually happen.
No, please don't. That would be crazy if he had her in his corner screaming louder than Ziggy. Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to think of how many times I've seen like fans jump the barricade at AIW, and there's only one that I could think of. There might have been 2. But the first time involved Rockstar Spud of all people.
I've never seen it happen. Hopefully it stays that way.
Normally we're smarter than
pretty
that.
Good.
Yeah. But you never know who's buying that ticket. Is it
right?
Is it a regular, or is it somebody new who decides that they're going to have fun and they're going to be stupid?
Right.
Oh.
Luckily though, most of our front row is pretty solid,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the same crowd. So, but like you said, you never know.
Actually, now that I think about it, I forgot there's one incident that I'd almost blocked out from my memory because I'm only remembering the time with Rockstar Spud at my second AIW show, which was in December of 2011. A fan, he didn't necessarily jump the barricade because I think he was able to like go around, but he might have jumped it. Nonetheless, because he was having like a back and forth with a wrestler, and a wrestler did the, come on in. And he legitimately took that as an invite. And as soon as he hit the ring, like he wasn't very fast, he got fucking drop kicked quick.
Oh, man,
and
I'm sure.
The dude was escorted out, but like he was kind of like knocked out a little bit too. and did have to go to the hospital. Last I had heard, he had like no memory of like some of the stuff.
Oh man.
And he was banned from AIW for a while. He has since returned here and there, but not a ton.
Wow.
So yeah. So when I say for Shaw's sister to do this, I say it as a joke.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Because I don't want that happening to her. But yeah, there is that factor of PB being there. But this is, I think, going to be Shaw getting a little bit of revenge on Carson.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the height factor.
Mm-hmm.
These two are about, the same in stature. So, I mean, it's anyone's game here.
So who do you got in it?
I'm gonna go with Shaw. I'm going with Shaw. I agree with you. I think he's gonna be looking for some revenge. So I'm going with Shaw.
Yeah, I think Shaw's gonna take care of Carson, and then potentially we'll get match number 4 at Absolution with PB and Shaw, or maybe it's a tag match. Maybe it's Brian Carson and PB Smooth versus Shaw Mason and I don't know Miss Frizzle. I don't know.
We get her up to the school real quick.
But I think could be an option of like a tag team match. Not necessarily her, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll see if Shaw can find some friends.
I think maybe he can pick some up at the exchange.
Put a poster, help wanted. Tag team partner. ASAP.
See Shaw.
Apply with it.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the return of To Infinity and Beyond versus Bulking Season versus Members Only versus Chase Oliver and Paul London.
This is going to be a banger. We haven't seen To Infinity and Beyond in a very long time.
I think we have to be at a year. I swear the last time was APSO.
Yeah, it might have been. Or no, I think they were at JLit Weekend. Or yeah, I believe they were at JLit Weekend.
You know what? I think you're right.
That might have been the last time.
But were they in tag competition? Because obviously Colin was in. Actually, no, I think they were both in the tournament.
I think they were. I think they might have faced Members Only.
Oh, that's a good call because I want to say that was your show.
Yeah.
That was fresh. I forget about that one because it was a student match, but technically they had all, but well, not they all, but Members Only had already debuted, but they never got like an official.
Right. Yeah. They never got their official time.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you were right, Jaylet. Yeah, I even pulled up the graphic to double check, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited to have them back. They're real cool guys and they're so smart when it comes to stuff. So I'm excited to talk to them a little bit come Friday.
I mean, arguably they're the best tag team in AIW history.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure.
And
for sure up there, for sure.
They've been the measuring stick within the division for a very long time. Like back when I had IWTV and AIW was on there, I remember like pulling up some old shows where it was right as To Infinity Beyond was about to form. Like they were in some matches together, and literally within months, boom, this tag team started, and they've been going strong ever since. And even back then, they felt like this weird combobulated tag team because it was like Colin had his old tag team partner, and also same with Cheech, where they had they were both coming from different tag teams and now forming this new one. But they've been around so long that I stopped feeling that a very long time ago. It's like, oh, it's To Infinity and Beyond.
Yeah, I mean, they're so fluid. Like they know each other so well. Like, I mean, all 4 of these teams, I'm excited for this match. Like this one could steal the show. But these two, man, To Infinity and Beyond, they know what they're doing.
And you got Bulking Season, former AIW tag team champions, I should say former recent AIW tag team champions, but they haven't necessarily been on the exact same page. Things have not been flowing the way they were this time last year for them.
Yeah. I think this is the exact match they need. I think they win this match, that puts them right at the number 1 contender spot. I mean, this this is what they want right here. This has got to be the match they wanted to show that they are exactly where they need to be.
And I think with members only, they're like, obviously they've yet to win the tag team championships, but they're always in contention. And I think that's something that people need to always remember about them. It's like, don't necessarily count them out, because
absolutely. I mean, these guys have been fighting very hard for these matches, and they're not just rolling over. I mean, they're, the last the last show we had in Cleveland, them and Bitcoin. I mean, that was a phenomenal match.
Mm-hmm.
So these two can bring it too. I mean, I've been in the ring with them. They hit pretty hard. So I'm excited to see what they can do in this match.
And members only versus Bitcoin Boys is like the rivalry that nobody talks about. Like they have had some very good matches in the short amount of time that they've both been around. And yeah. I feel like it's one of those things like we will see going forward a lot more. It'll just be interesting. We get to the point that members only have the championships and they're defending against Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that rivalry will definitely last a long time. I mean, those two teams are so talented and so athletic, and they're smart. I mean, like them or hate them, but Bitcoin, they know what they're doing too. And these two teams will be fun to watch for years to come.
Then you got Chase Oliver and Paul London. Like,
what a team! What a team!
What do you say about that? You have Chase, who's been killing it in front of the camera and behind the camera past few years in the AIW, teaming
Chase
with
is just a well-rounded wrestler. He's awesome.
He's tag teaming with half of the best tag team from the Ruthless Aggression era. Like, it would be crazy to see them pull this one off. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe get a tag team title shot after that. That
would be crazy. We get this teaming more than once? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to attack you from up high, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They both can fly around.
I mean, a lot of people in this match can do that, except for like two people, but that's neither here nor there. Of these 14, who do you got?
Oh man, it's so tough. So tough. Yeah, I'm going with 2 Infinity and Beyond. And I say that because they have not been here in a long time, like we discussed, and I think they're here to show, like, hey, don't forget about us.
I'm going to go with members only. I think a win here could put them in title contention for Absolution. It's like, hey, we just beat one of the best, or basically the best tag team in AIW history. We've beat a recent champs, and we beat, even though they were just put together, one of the best wrestlers in AIW and a great wrestler from the Ruthless Aggression era. I think we deserve another tag title shot at Absolution.
Yeah, I mean, what a resume builder, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I
mean, honestly, any team that wins this match, I mean, it's got to be in the talks, right? They have to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't sleep on this one. This one for sure could steal the show. I'm very excited for this one.
And that's a perfect segue for the next one. AIW Tag Team Title Match, Money Shot versus Bitcoin Boys. We saw them go up against each other at Cibernetico. Unfortunately, Eric Taylor got injured in that match. Money Shot were able to take advantage of it and walk home with the titles.
Yeah, I mean, what a surprise for everyone. Very unfortunate what happened to Eric, but I mean, I'm very excited for them to get their rematch and see what they can do against Money Shot.
And the big question that we have for this match is, what's the Duke going to do? He, as far as what I have seen in AIW, I mean, he's always behind his boys, but he's never been really against Money Shot. And if there's a show, which I'm really bad at this, I forget it every single year, but this is the AIW rap show. For those who don't know, every match, no rules. Weapons allowed, like, for the most part. Fans bring weapons.
About that too.
Yeah, so it's one thing to have the Duke there, but the Duke could interfere whenever he wants.
Yeah, essentially it's a 3-on-2.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Wow, yeah. The Duke for sure is the difference in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, Eric, hopefully he's fully healthy and ready to go, but yeah, the Duke is definitely going to be the difference maker in this match.
I don't know how well Eric's going to do. This isn't going to be a match where he's going to be able to, take a union mandatory lunch break in the middle of the match to, help everything out. But nonetheless, I think,
I mean, for sure, Mikey can't take it all. So he's going to have to step up some way.
Though I'm going to give a shout out to Mikey. Granted, it's not AIW, but I just saw him this past weekend go up against Gannon Jones Jr. in one-on-one match at Enjoy Wrestling. We don't get to see that side of Mikey a lot here because he's in a tag team, and that's not a shot at Eric or anything, but when you kind of get to see someone who you only see like a small part of the time in a match, instead like one-on-one, especially, Gannon too. He's part of a tag team as well. Seeing those two go at it was incredible. And when it hits YouTube, I suggest people check it out. Mikey will do you proud. Spoiler alert, he does not win, but he doesn't go down easily. That's the one thing I love about him. So huge shout out for him with that match. So
for sure, yeah.
I mean,
Mikey's awesome.
You could say that was a little bit of training for him for this match. He needs to go up against the odds. If he can go one-on-one with Gannon. He can go 2-on-2 with Money Shot with Eric beside him. So this is going to be really interesting, especially with the no rules thing.
It could go either way, but I think the Duke is such a difference maker in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got to go to Bitcoins. I mean, they're hungry and they're very disappointed, the way it ended at Cybernetico. So I'm going Bitcoin boys. That's my pick.
Yeah, because it's not like the Bitcoin boys were bested. You had Money Shot that were able to take advantage of an injury, which, I mean, it is a part of the game, yes. But I think if you were the person losing those titles, you would want to be able to avenge that loss. And that's going to be what Bitcoin's going to do. I'm going to go with the Bitcoin boys in this one. Let's move.
Yeah, keep an eye on the Duke all night for sure.
Let's move on to the other tag team match on the card. The Dream Partner Tag Team match. Got originally announced it was Derek Dillinger with his mystery partner versus Wes Barkley and his mystery partner. At last week's show, Over the Line, Wes said straight up, he's like, my partner is Josh Bishop. So bring whoever you want, Derek. This is my guy. We're going to win. And I kind of like that happened, and didn't only because I really like surprises, but I do felt like with Wes, that was the more obvious choice. Like, who else are you going to pick?
Yeah, I mean, if you pick someone else, you might have a problem with JB, huh?
So the big question is, who do you think is Derek's partner?
Oh, I mean, he doesn't really have a lot of options, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it's
kind of burned a lot of bridges, don't you think?
True, but there's a lot of people who aren't on this card, and there's people that could potentially show up without being announced. One example that I'll use, and it was this time last year when the surprise was Joey Janela.
Oh,
for I think it was originally supposed to be, it was a Pick Your Poison, which I love those. Cardona versus a mystery opponent picked by Bishop, and then vice versa. Bishop against a mystery opponent picked by Cardona. Unfortunately for Cardona, right before that is when he got injured. So that turned into a three-way match. It was Bishop versus Justice versus Janela. So Janela, that was his big return to AIW. Well, there wasn't any announcement for it. I could easily see the same thing happen, but I think GCW might have a show this weekend. I'm not 100% sure. So he could be booked on that, but I don't know. I have a pick. I'm not going to publicly say it because I have a reason for it, and I want to be proved wrong. But I won't say it because I think it might be right. But we will see. I'll tell you off air as soon as we're done.
Sounds good. I mean, I don't know though. I don't have a. I mean, Ziggy's got a match, so
yeah.
You don't want her fighting twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, what bridge hasn't he burned?
What bridge hasn't he burned, or who would be willing to? Maybe it's not necessarily a bridge that he burned, but who'd be willing to help him because they don't like the shooters or they don't like Bishop.
Oh, common enemy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like that train of thought.
I mean, we haven't seen him. Could it be Justice?
Ooh. But, I mean, Justice put Derek through the stage not too long ago. Oof.
Yeah, but he also threw Bishop off of a balcony.
That is true. Fair point. All right. Good counter.
And I think also, too, like that dream partner. Who would be a dream partner for Derek? One person I did think of, because I think Derek would love to actually like be able to share the ring with him, but I don't know certain logistics, and that's Shane Douglas. They did have a match together at the return show at Hello Cleveland.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while either.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, is Devon retired?
I mean, dude, you're talking about a dream partner. Yeah.
I mean, why not? He's going to be there.
Thorne said he won't be signing for intermission, so maybe it's because he's getting ready for this match.
Oh. Ooh. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. These ones are always tough. Who do you got? Do you got the Rip City Shooters because we know them? Or are you going to take the mystery of Derek and this mystery partner?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick someone who you don't know who the other half is. Oh, man. And Rip City Shooters, they're tough. Yeah, I'm going with the Shooters. It's hard to pick when you don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go with them too. Partially because what you said of we don't exactly know who Derek's picking, but there's also the familiarity between the Shooters. This isn't their first rodeo in a match together, so they could potentially be on the same level. We don't know if Derek and whoever he's picking is going to be on the same level, or whether, like we said, they might have common enemies with Bishop or the Shooters, but that could end up backfiring.
Right. I mean, yeah, the chemistry, that's a huge thing in tag team wrestling. So, yeah, definitely the Shooters.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's go with Dominic Garrini versus Mance Warner. The return of Mance Warner.
Yes. I'm just happy that I'm not going to be the only one with a long entrance. This is great.
That's very true.
I might have to pull out the long version for this one, actually. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not pre-show, but...
yeah, because I can't remember how long Mance is, because I want to say we timed it at one point. It's long.
It's long. It's very long. I know. I know some people are not going to know what to do. Some of our newer fans.
I'm not even thinking about that because we haven't seen Mance in so long. It's just going to be like, all right, when's it coming out? All right.
Yeah, I think he has hair now. Don't think he's bald anymore.
Yeah.
He grew his hair out.
There's that too.
It'll look totally different.
I mean, you got Dom, who's just been undefeated all year.
Yeah, on fire.
I would say this is potentially one of his toughest opponents.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this could definitely derail the momentum he has going for him. Because like you said, he hasn't lost. I mean, he's gone against some really tough opponents this year. Some, top name guys, and he's just lining them up, taking them down.
And we can't just assume Dom's going to win because of the competition of Mance, but also at the same time, Dom's no slouch. Dom is somebody who's been around the world, traveled across this country, and knows how to fight. knows how to wrestle. So no matter how Mance would want to do it, Dom has experience, and Dom could be very lethal. So
yeah, I mean, look at that Kaplan match at Gauntlet. That was insane. But I will say, Warner, he's got the experience. He's no, remember, this is no rules. Anything goes. So I mean, he knows what he has to do to win this kind of match. Not saying Dom can't, but wow, this one is gonna be rough. Like, front row, better watch out, because I'm sure there's gonna be things flying all over the place.
Who's gonna bring the plastic bins?
I don't know if we bought any more.
Fans bring the weapons. They could be bringing some.
That is true. Oof.
Who you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited. Man, it's such a big return for Mance, but Dom's he's so on fire right now. Ooh, this one might be the toughest pick of the night.
I agree, because with Mance having that big return match, hasn't been around in over 2 years. So a win for him would be big. But the same thing with Dom, of just being on that streak and showing his dominance. I think where I'm at, and it's where I've been at all year, it's like, as long as this streak's going, I'm not betting against him. So I'm picking Dom. Yeah,
I mean, good points right there. Some really good points. I think I'm gonna go with Mance. I mean,
oh, okay.
I just think, he hasn't been here in a long time. He's got kind of like to infinity and beyond. He's got something to prove. Like, hey, don't forget about me. Like, I'm still around. Not here very often, but I'm still around. So I think Mance is coming to Cleveland with something to prove. And I think, he's going to take Dom to the very limit. And it's going to be great.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the 4-way women's match. Becca versus Ziggy Haim versus Katie Arquette versus Jocelyn Navarro. You have the entire AIW women's division, and I'm including Katie Arquette in this, even though we hadn't seen her since, I think we have not seen since APSO. So her making her return with our 2 women that we see all the time, and we have a guest, Becca, who I'm not as familiar with. I think once this match was announced, I started seeing her more and more, because I don't pay like that much attention to Beyond, but I know she's got some notoriety there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these 4 women, they're going to bring it. That's for sure. This one's going to be wild.
I mean, you have Jocelyn being the Dominic Guarini in the women's division of, pulling out all these wins. Sure. Ziggy's always trying to prove something. The way that I love that she described it a long time ago is she's kind of like a chihuahua. So, no matter how many times, Chihuahua could be beat or whatever, they're still going to come back vicious as hell. And Katie, with us not seeing her since APSO, she's going to be able to prove something, because, hey, if she were to win, it kind of goes back to like the whole, 4-way tag match. Granted, she won't like make a case for her getting a championship, but it's just like, hey, I'm making a case that I need to be here more.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Like, you're right. Like, Jocelyn's on fire, just like Dom. Ziggy, like you said, she's always ready for a fight, and we haven't seen Katie in a while, so who knows, what she's been up to. And Becca, yeah, I'm sure she wants to be around more too. So, all 4 women have something to prove.
And I could only imagine the women's match we'll see at Absolution. If this is what we're getting at the show before, not saying it'll be like another 4-way, maybe we see 2 women's matches or something. But I think for me with this, like, it's going to be really hard to pick against Jocelyn. Very similar to Dom, of just the year she's had and like some of the opponents she's been able to go through.
Oh yeah, she's definitely had a great year. Oof. Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. I don't know. I think I agree. I'm gonna have to go with Jocelyn. That's my pick.
Yeah, it's really hard to like go against her.
Plus, she's wrestled in this venue, so I mean, that helps a little bit. And hometown girl, so she doesn't have to travel very far. The other 3 have to come from out of state, so I mean, she'll be well rested. Yeah, I'll go with Jocelyn. That's my pick for sure.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Isaiah Broner versus Marino Tenaglia. We have Broner, who is, I don't want to say getting revenge, but he is taking down everybody leading up to Cardona. He just put Philly in a neck brace, and now we have Marino, and as of this recording, I don't got the exact word on it, but I know this match is happening, but Marino wanted it to be, wanted there to be something on the line for Broner. And he was saying that Broner puts up his title shots at APSO.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that. That's, I mean, knowing Broner, he's not going to back down from a fight. I mean, I think he's confident. I can see him agreeing to those terms.
Yeah, I think knowing enough about Broner is like just, he's not a dude that's just going to back down from something.
Right.
And because at the same time, it's about the confidence you have in yourself. And he just came back from an injury and won Gauntlet. So
yeah,
nothing standing in his way.
Further away he gets from that injury, the stronger he's getting, the more healthier, he's hitting the gym hard, and, he's going to give Cardona everything he has. Now he's got to go through Marino first, but I don't see him backing down one bit from Marino's challenge.
And it kind of goes in what we were saying earlier about fans bring the weapons and all that kind of stuff. You potentially have Philly there too.
Ooh, potentially. I mean, Philly seems a little banged up, but he could still distract Broner enough for Marino to get some kind of advantage.
You can still swing a chair with a neck brace.
Yep.
So just thinking.
The match was actually just made official. It was just, the graphic was just tweeted out. Marino Tenaglia versus Isaiah Broner.
Did they add in the...
I don't see a stipulation, so maybe that's going to be some kind of game time decision, but the match is official.
I mean, at the same time, I thought the match last week with Arthur MacArthur and the Duke wasn't for the Haas boot, but I've been told it was. Because it wasn't, I don't believe it was not in the graphic, but I'm going to guess that Broner will not back down from that whole thing. And he'll be like, yeah, like, it's on the line. I don't care. I'm winning. So let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, that right there, that should make Cardona scared.
Mm-hmm.
A man that big and strong coming into a match with the confidence through the roof. Oh yeah, I'd be scared. Glad I'm not in Marino's shoes tonight or Friday.
Who do you got?
Oh, I'm going Broner. Easy. Philly gets involved, he'll take them both out.
Yeah, I look at this as a kind of a warm-up, part 2 of a warm-up, basically, for Cardona. And yeah, he's going to take care of them easily, and I don't think Cardona is going to be there to inject himself to swing the odds in Marino's favor.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near Broner until I absolutely have to be if I was Cardona. But then again, he could come in and try to weaken him up for APSO. I don't know. That's go either way there.
All right, I think we are down to one match, and it's the most insane match I feel like I've ever seen AIW announce. Kaplan, the great Kaplan of AIW, versus the Barbarian. Just holy shit.
Insane. I don't even know where this is going to go, but ring crew better enforce that ring this week. We better get all new boards because these two are going to tear it up.
Yeah. Ugh. Just, I don't know what to expect. Except potentially insanity. Kaplan's crazy. Pretty sure the Barbarian's pretty crazy still. And
yeah, I mean, these two, neither one of them care about what happens to them. They just want to inflict as much pain as they can on their opponent.
Potentially, I want to say this is the most prolific opponent Kaplan's ever gone against. I could be wrong. I'm trying to think of some like his big name opponents, and I honestly can't think of a ton. But
I mean, Kaplan is coming off of a big win.
Mm-hmm.
at Over the Line. So, he's got a little momentum on his side.
And with Over the Line too, kind of like Sam mentioned it last week, maybe it didn't work out in his favor, but Kaplan was coming off vacation. So he was fresh last week. He's not as fresh now, but he's still off vacation, just a week. He's pretty recharged. So
yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean he's fresh.
In this insane match, who do you got? I don't know what else I could really add to it, but just Barbarian and Kaplan.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Cap because he has that momentum. Like you said, he's well rested, and I mean, he's just insane.
Yeah, I gotta go with Kaplan. Just we've seen what he can do. He's had some losses lately, but coming back off vacation, winning a match, and then this one, this is gonna be like I kind of said earlier, like fully charged Kaplan. Fully charged Kaplan is dangerous. So good luck to the Barbarian. Good luck to our ring. Good luck to our fans. Good luck to anyone around. This one's going to be wild. All right. That's the whole card. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go? Man, yeah. You guys heard it here. Buy a ticket. It's going to be a fun show. Buy a ticket. And if you can't be there, watch it on the FITE Plus app. I mean, it's going to be one for the ages. A great setup before Absolution. Do you want to throw out your social media? Yeah, for sure. For sure. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Austin_James23. And then I'm over on Instagram, the Slugger23. So give me a follow. I appreciate it. And thanks for listening. And of course, you can find myself at jsummers330 on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Hive, much like you can find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/Wrestling Cheers, Twitter.com/Wrestling Cheers, and Instagram.com/Wrestling Cheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And let's go over those places that you can listen to this show, where you can rate, review, and subscribe. That would be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. And in the show notes, there is a link to all of them. Check out our podcast friends, such as Hiya Bussy, Super Fantastic Podcast, The IndieCast, Sobros Network, Biff Radio, Game Marks Podcast, Powerbomb Jitsu, Pile Driver Podcast, Fully Posable, Positively Pro Wrestling, Indie Wrestling Guide, If You Catch My Grift, At Odds with Wrestling, Marks with Mikes, Juggalo Rewind, X Over, This Ends at Prom, and Porch Talk. Check out our other non-podcasting friends, such as The Mystery Men, Redline Radio, Mouse's Wrestling Adventures, VHS Party Tonight on Instagram, Danger Zone Video in Joliet, Tennessee, Heart of Gold, Ohio Toy Show, Time Capsule Toys, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue, 20x20 Apparel, JCP Designs, Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And later.
It's the Wrestling Cheers. Get up on your feet, brightening your day in the middle of the week. And you gotta love the show. Yeah, you know it holds a title for the best podcast. Talking wrestling in Ohio. Finishing a cold one, take a load off. We ain't all about the prohibition like Josh, so we cheers. And then we sit back. Other shows are in the trash, kinda like they Nick Stapp. Like the name is Matt Justice, wearing all the gold. Wrestling Cheers is coming to a close. The #1 podcast going in the game. And one day everybody's gonna know the name. It's the Wrestling Cheers. This is Platinum Max, signing off. Ohio, good night. The world, good night. We love you. We'll see you next week.